Boom. What's up, guys? I'm super excited. We are in the building, two separate buildings, obviously. Brie, tell them where you're at.
I'm in Oklahoma right now.
Oklahoma. I'm in LA. Technology is awesome. Today's interview is going to be about astrology, if it's real, if it's legit, what to be aware of and awake and alive of. No, I'm joking. But speaking of that, since we are in the building with Brie Marie, founder, round of applause now, founder of Awake, Alive, and Aware. She is a transparency coach. She gets into all the deep realness that no one likes to dive into and really just brings that out of you. Like I said, she has her YouTube channel with Awake, Alive, and Aware, and she's an awesome person. But I'm going to let Brie over here in this box do a little bit more of what she does right now. So introduce yourself, Brie.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much for having me on. I'm really blessed to be here. So basically, I really like to dive really deep into material that people don't talk about, whether it's about the taboo stuff about sex, about the female productive system, astrology, like we're getting into today. I like to talk about deep things that actually happen in people's lives that people don't like to put to the forefront, but I get down in that. But yeah, so today, as we're talking about astrology, I don't really consider myself an astrologer at all. This is one of my hobbies. I've been really big into it for my whole life. And at one point, I didn't believe in it. Like you were saying in the beginning, you were like, oh, is it real or is it not? I didn't believe in it in the beginning because I'm a Virgo. It was in September, and I did not agree with anything that my horoscope said at all. It was saying that I was organized and perfect and like things a certain way, and they're very nitpicky and critical and very judgmental, and I was just like, that's not like me at all. Like, what are they talking about? But that's when I realized that it's not just about your birth sign or the month that you were born in. You are literally every single sign in the zodiac. You are not just one. And
I like that.
That's where people have a misconception about astrology is they think like, oh, if I'm a Cancer, I've got to be emotional. But you've got a moon sign and a rising sign.
Explain that really quick.
Yeah, okay. So we have a sun sign, a moon sign, and a rising sign. Your sun sign is obviously the month that you were born. So you're a Scorpio?
Yes. Born in November.
Born in November. Okay. So you were born in November and you're a Scorpio. I don't know your rising sign or your moon sign, but say for instance, okay, so I'll go off me. I'm a Virgo, born in September, and my rising sign is a Gemini, and my moon sign is a Cancer.
Okay.
So a moon sign is how you feel. It's your emotions that come up to the surface.
Yeah.
So whenever something happens to you, what are the feelings that come up for you as any of this energy is coming up? So if you're a Cancer is very motherly and very nurturing, and they are the ruler of the moon. Cancer is ruling sign. So you know how moon is like Luna, like the mother, the moon.
Yeah.
So me being a Cancer moon, I can be very emotional at times. But with my Virgo is my sun sign. Virgos are very harsh. So they tend to not show their emotions. They cover it up. And then your rising sign is who you present yourself as. Anyone that you come in contact to that you don't know. Yeah. So
dropping it. Boom.
This is going to be a little bit interesting. So Geminis, I'm a Gemini rising. When I meet people, Geminis are very talkative. They love conversation. They love public speaking. Whenever I'm in public with people who I don't know, I love to drop knowledge and talk to them and connect with them and hear what they're all about.
Yeah.
But Virgos could really care less about that. They're very talkative as well. When you get into their world, you're really going to see that they're not as talkative as they come off when they first meet you. they just present that to the world. It's like their mask. So your rising sign is your mask.
Rising sign mask.
Sign, yes. It's the
Sun sign.
mask that you put on before you meet people.
Okay.
Or as you're meeting people.
I love it.
Once they get into your world, they begin to see your sun sign.
Your sun sign. Okay, I got you. That's beautiful. So I was gonna ask, so like for all like the beginners or someone that's like, yo, zodiac signs, how do they know? Like, can you just like give them like really simple steps to know like their sun sign, how to find their sunshine, whatever, you know?
Yeah. So for me, I go to astro.com, and on astro.com, it gives you this calculation system where you have to put in your name, your date of birth, your time, where you were born, like all the specifics. If you don't have your time of birth, you're not going to have the specific alignment of how your chart is actually, like the energetic balance of it, you know? And because just a single minute, like if you mess up a single minute, you can be a Scorpio and not a Sagittarius.
Wow.
So that's why you really need to know your time of birth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Brie, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of people, like, there's some people that believe it, but there's some people that still think it's nonsense. So for those people that thinks it's nonsense, how can you like make it clear, like, okay, well, you were born at this time, so these signs are kind of like, how can you make sense for those people that is like, okay, I get it, but I still don't get it?
Okay, so for me, I'm a very spiritual person. I know that we are spirits and we are stardust, and everything is ruled by the stars. I don't believe in astrology. I know that astrology is true. It's not like a belief system. It's not something that it's like, oh, one day it's true and then the next day it's not. Like there is evidence in the stars that that creates the combustion of who you are. So our universal consciousness gets masked up together, and you are literally the expression of what you come down with all those stars and all the alignments of all the planets that we in that moment. So you are a direct picture of all those planets and alignments. And
that's beautiful. I like that.
Well, it's very interesting how to like even connect it to being true, because I just see it as true. But
yeah, it's just your truth. Yeah.
You know, JP Morgan, he's a financial banker. So he said it is not millionaires who use astrology. It's billionaires who use astrology. Word. And the reason for that is because billionaires knows what's up in the stars. They know that if a certain star is in this alignment, money will flow way more.
Wow.
Yeah, and it's not just money. It can be marriages, relationships, either putting in a business contract or not. People who, like, even, I don't know if you're really big into the Freemasons or anything like that, but the Freemasons, they use astrology because they know that these direct movements in the sky will energetically change the way that their life is if they go by this alignment. So that was really changed my life in terms of really knowing that it was fact and not just a belief. Okay.
I love it. And just coming into that conscious awareness of what's going on, because it's still going on, whether you believe it or not. It's still going to be there. It's still impacting and affecting your life. I want you to, because we talked before, like one of our first conversations was about metaphysical and what's in the metaphysical world. So can you like just give them a little tip or just drop what the metaphysical even means to you?
So metaphysical in terms of like my schooling that I went to?
Yeah, or the school that you went to when you were studying like all the laws and everything.
Yeah. Okay, so I went to university.
Okay. I was gonna say drop your favorite law. I want to hear it right now. They all want to hear it.
Okay, so my favorite law. Actually, one of my favorite laws, and this is something that people know, and it's so cliche, but whatever was meant to happen was exactly the way it was supposed to happen. Whoever it was with is exactly who it was supposed to be with. whenever it began was exactly when it was supposed to begin, and whenever it ended is exactly when it was supposed to end. So everything that happened, there was no confusion with it. It had to happen that way or it wouldn't have happened. And when I heard that law, it kind of just like made everything so much simpler for me. And I stopped being so upset about things. When things would like fall inside of my world, it was kind of like, it's not really breaking down. It's helping me grow to another level.
Yeah. And then you'd become more unattached because you're like, yo, like it was meant to be. Whatever it will be, is meant to be.
And some people don't believe in that either. You know? But I mean, that's become my truth and has helped me move through life a lot easier.
That's deep. Okay, so the next topic I really want to dive into, I'm really excited to talk about that you don't even know. I didn't even tell you I was going to ask you about it. I want to ask you about your travels, because I know you're like traveling to like New York to you lived in like a sand dune or something?
I lived in an earth ship, actually. It was an earth ship out in Joshua Tree, and it was all sustainable, made out of the sand and made out of water, basically made out of the earth.
Did you live with the Amish for a year too?
Say that again?
Did you live with the Amish for a year?
No. It wasn't.
No, you weren't.
It wasn't the Amish. It was actually my very, very deep spiritual friends who were like, I just want to live off the land and praise the earth. And I was totally into it, but at the same time, I was like, I need to go back to regular living because it was a lot for me. But yeah, that was down in Joshua Tree. We all had our own garden, and we could pick fruits and stuff from the garden. We'd all basically give back. It was like a family, and we all would take care of the land. And our showers were outside, so we'd be using like the sun, like to warm up our shower.
Oh wow!
It was super powerful.
Question: when you went there, do you feel like you left the matrix of the world? Because I've been hearing the matrix. It keeps coming up like, oh, this is all the matrix.
So that was actually
watch the movie.
Yeah, that was back in 2013, and I did feel like I was not in the real world, like at all. I felt like I was completely out of the matrix, but still seeing like the blueprint of what everybody was living in. And I was like, why are you guys living in this? Like, come on, like we need to get out of this. And, I was actually like crying a lot back in 2013 because it was 2010, 2011, whenever I really started waking up to the frequencies on the planet and the energetic waves that were going on, and how we are all very in tune, but some of us have just blocked that off to seeing what's really out there. And in 2013, it like hit me in very massive ways. I was starting to really tap into like other frequencies and other realms and other dimensions that I didn't know how to talk to my friends about it. But the people that I was living with, they were so open to it.
So question for that. So are some people just meant not to understand that? Like, because I mean, I know a lot of people run into those experiences where they're like, yo, like there's a different dimension that you can't see. And like they start going in and people are like, what are you saying? I don't understand this extension that you're talking about. I don't see spirit. I don't see into the spirit world. Why do you think that is?
So I honestly think that that's a deep subconscious program on everybody. There's a deep subconscious program where it's like, okay, some people like are not going to be aware of this stuff, but they are very aware, just not in this world. Like in this lifetime, they chose to like give that existence up. And for us, we've got to take a step back and realize like, hey, that's our lesson, to realize like not everybody wants to participate in that world right now. And that's okay. It's our life for us to participate in it, and they don't need to. But for us to keep spreading our truth and to raise awareness, and maybe one day like our seeds will sprinkle inside of their mind, and it'll be like, wow, like that actually did make sense. And they'll come back to it like 5 years later or 10 years later and be like, wow, like that totally just hit me now compared to when they did tell me about it. I mean, there's still things that I get right now where like I didn't believe it like 5 years ago, and now I'm like, oh my God, like that totally makes sense now. They were trying to like wake me up in a way, but no. Yeah.
Another question. So let's say from a religious aspect, or have you ever had like what religion were you, or I don't know. That's the question.
My mom, she didn't raise me as Protestant, but she told me I was Protestant. We never went to church or anything like that. So I'm pretty sure that Protestant is like a form of Christianity. I was never really big into religion at all. Recently, I've kind of started diving into it a little bit more. Not religion, but just learning more about the different aspects of it and what it can teach me. Because I know that there's laws in that that's still very valuable.
Okay, so that's beautiful. And when you started to become more aligned spiritually, did you start to distance yourself away from the church, or did it pull you closer? So I know some churches are like astral projection. What is that? You know, like if you go talk to a pastor about astral projection and see what happens.
Yes. So I actually have never been interested in church.
Cool.
I was never interested in church. I went a few times whenever I was younger, and I didn't understand any of the teachings that they were talking about, because there's some teachings in the Bible where they'll say, like, I don't even know like the person's name. Like that's how much I'm not in tune with the Bible. But they'll say that this guy was talking to a burning bush, and the burning bush was God. And God was basically sharing a message with him saying, like, you need to do this. You need to go help these people, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that sounds a lot like mushrooms.
Yeah.
So for me, when I've taken a lot of mushrooms before. I haven't taken them in 3 years because I'm still trying to understand some of the messages.
Yeah, I bet.
But when I did take mushrooms, I was talking to the trees.
Yeah.
I didn't believe in God before I did mushrooms.
Yeah.
I did mushrooms, and the trees were talking to me, telling me that you need to do this and you need to do this. And I'm like, oh, maybe the Bible is real, but they just took out the hallucinations and the medicine and the plant medicine that actually helps people see that there is this collective consciousness and this godly energy that wants to connect with us. So there was just a lot inside the Bible where I was like, okay, like, is this plant medicine that they're using to connect with the spirits or connect with God? And I feel like back in the day, there was a lot of that, a lot of ritual and a lot of sacred ceremonies taking place with plant medicine. Same with the Native Americans. Like that was always happening. It was a way to connect with source. And nowadays it's kind of like, oh, that's sinful. But I feel like the way that we're going right now, it's looked at in more of a okay way. Like maybe like 5 years ago it was like, oh no, that's illegal, like don't do that. But now it seems like everybody's kind of on that wave of like, oh, I want to try that. Like it's kind of like a new thing in a way. But I do
very interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, I've never really been into church. I didn't really understand anything that they were sharing about. It was never my cup of tea. And a lot of my friends were like, you really need Jesus, and you really
need Jesus in your life. We all need Jesus.
And,
all the places you traveled, call them out.
Okay,
count. Can I put my fingers up? I'll do the counting for you.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, so I was born in California.
Boom.
Moved to Japan.
Whoa.
Delaware?
Yeah,
Delaware. Maryland. Hawaii. New York. Yeah. Massachusetts.
Yes.
Missouri. Nevada.
More out of fingers.
No, don't run out of them. Ohio.
Philip, can I borrow some fingers from you, brother? My brother right here.
I'm in Oklahoma now.
She's in Oklahoma. That's one more finger. I need a finger.
One more finger. I was in Florida.
I'm out. Colorado.
Where else have I been?
We don't have any more fingers, so I'm joking. We do.
He has like 8 more.
Yeah, we do. He has a lot more.
You got 7 more. I've literally been on like all of the East Coast.
You forgot Fresno.
Oh yeah, I've been to North Fresno.
I would forget it too. It's all good.
California, come on. I've been to like 4 different places in California, but like I've traveled the whole coast of California.
Okay, we're good. That's beautiful.
I love traveling. I'll be in Portland in 2 weeks.
And you're about to be in Portland too. Wow. So how do you do all this traveling? What do you do? Like, you use the stars to travel?
I use the stars to travel. Actually, I do. Actually, Mercury retrograde is coming up, and I do not ever travel during Mercury retrograde, but I'm going to be traveling during Mercury retrograde. Do you know about Mercury retrograde?
No clue.
Okay.
Inform me.
So Mercury retrograde is a planet where you should not travel, you should not do business, you should not sign a contract, don't buy a car, your cell phone is probably going to be messed up, your computer might act a little weird, technology doesn't function, communication between people kind of doesn't work as well. And this is like a 3-week period. So I'm pretty sure it starts tomorrow, December 19th to January 8th.
Is that good news? Like, I don't know how I feel about that when my phone knows.
For me, I'm ruled by Mercury. Virgo is a ruled sign by Mercury, and so is Gemini. So it's ruled by Mercury. Most of the time, Virgo and Gemini go through very intense processes during Mercury retrograde. When Mercury goes retrograde, it goes backwards. So it wants you to come back in, like redesign, reinvent, reevaluate. So you're readjusting a lot of things that you thought you wanted in your life, and now you're reevaluating what you actually want. And, but yeah, so communication sometimes doesn't go as well, but yeah, so with traveling, I normally wouldn't travel during Mercury retrograde, but I bought my ticket before Mercury retrograde. So if you buy your stuff before it hits, then everything's like freaking gravy. But if you buy your ticket during Mercury retrograde, a lot of times your flight cancels or there's snow and you have like a huge layover. Like I've had 2 friends who I was like, do not travel during Mercury retrograde, and they did. And
I'm traveling right now, Brie. You didn't tell me this. What's up? You didn't give it to me.
Hey, but you already kind of had these aligned.
True.
Right? Yeah.
I like that. My brother just gave me a question. Any tips for navigating when you're in this time?
When you're in this time? Definitely caution. Like, be aware of what you're doing. Don't use your cell phone when you're driving.
Ooh.
I mean, that's obviously.
Or your keys. Yeah.
Yeah, that's obviously already a thing you shouldn't be doing when
in certain states.
without Mercury retrograde, but
for sure.
With it just progresses you to maybe get in an accident. But also, some people don't believe in Mercury retrograde, and it's just a programmed belief inside of our head.
Okay.
So
I'm gonna go with that one.
Whatever you want to go by. If you don't want to go by anything,
just for now, because I'm traveling, I'm like, okay. Cool. Well, Brie in the building. Brie, I need to see a crazy dance move.
A crazy
like
dance.
How you get down, like how the stars align when you're about to like break out.
Get down like this.
What's your star dance? Like I need a star dance. I don't know.
A star dance?
Yeah. What is it? She went like this. There you go, guys. That's the star dance. Everybody
in the building.
Awesome. Brie, tell them where they could follow you at. Tell them where they how they could connect with you and follow your beautiful content, because I'd be like your biggest supporter. I'm like, ooh, I love all her posts. Yeah.
So I have an Instagram account. It's called AwakeAliveAware.
Boom.
Yes, and you can find me on Facebook, facebook.com/Brie Marie A11. And then I also have a Facebook group. You can find that at AwakeAliveAware as well. And we go into deep discussions. But a lot of the times I really just post on my Instagram and my public page.
Mm-hmm.
I go deep into topics. So yeah.
All right, guys. Shout out to Brie, founder of Awake, Alive, and Aware. Brie, you know I love you, girl. Love and appreciate you for being on my channel. And we're going to be doing something on her channel as well. So make sure to check that out. Make sure to go and subscribe for like the second part of this interview. We're going to be talking about what, Brie?
We're going to be talking about female and male energies and alpha and yeah, we're going to be going really deep into the masculine and feminine energies.
Yeah, say it with your chest. No, I'm joking. All right, guys. So make sure to stay tuned. We'll be dropping that. Peace, blessings, love you. I'm out.
Love ya.
All right, peace.